So I've had time to think about this a little bit. Obviously, I've just watched the Leeds and Wednesday match, so that's given me a little bit of time to moan about our performance and a little bit of time to reflect. So, yes, looks like we've probably just blown our chances of promotion. No two ways about it. I think we were kind of kidding ourselves a little bit because of the calibre of players that we've got compared to Norwich, Leeds, Villa, the rest of them. A lot of teams in this league overachieve. Well, no, few teams overachieving in this league. A lot of teams underachieving in this league. There's a lot of big clubs in this league. A lot of big players that are underachieving. Your West Broms, I know they're fourth, but let's be honest, they should have walked this league, West Brom. Your Stokes. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. I'll talk about United, right? I know there's a lot of Leeds fans that are happy that this has happened, but something like this had to happen for us to kind of just roll it back a little bit and just see where we've come from, because we weren't good enough today. We weren't at the level that we should have been at. We weren't at the level that Leeds are obviously at. Leeds obviously had a tough time against Millwall. Conceded 2 goals, but they came back strong and won 3-2. We didn't really have a tough time with Millwall. I'm assuming that Millwall didn't play anywhere near as good as they did against Leeds. Millwall were poor. They sat in until we scored. They offered nothing going forward until we scored. We plugged away. Obviously, Bash came off injured, which wasn't great. Wasn't what we wanted to see anyway. Gary Medine came on, which changed the shape, so we went 4 at the back, which we're not used to, but that don't matter. We've done that loads this season. That wasn't the problem. As the game went on, it felt a bit frustrating. Felt like we were never going to score at times, but at the same time, I was thinking, like, eventually it'll come. A weird thing to say, I know. I've completely contradicted myself, but that's how it is to be a Blade. We're just so pessimistic because of what has happened in the past. Anyway, so Bash came off, got injured, kept plugging. We eventually got an equaliser. We eventually scored to make it 1-0 in the second half. John Fleck, ball played through to him, managed to just nip it around the defender. Looked like he was going to have a shot with his right foot. Squared it to Medine. Easy tap in. Great goal. John Fleck. That's a little bit of quality that we needed. That's a little bit of quality that we've lacked probably in the last 5 or 6 games. Because like I said, I think we're kidding ourselves a little bit because I don't think we've particularly played well for 5 or 6 games. And I don't know if it's within 6 games, but we've beaten West Brom when we've not particularly played well. We've beaten Leeds when we've not particularly played well. We've beaten Preston when we've not particularly played well. Which I was thinking, that's pretty good going, that. Not playing well and beating these decent teams. Then we drew against Birmingham. Again, we didn't play very well. And again, we've not played well today. But I thought we'd have got over the finish line. I thought we were going to do it. So we scored. Everything was great, but as soon as we scored, we had a 5 or 10 minute period where we were pushing for that second goal, pushing. Didn't quite come, and then after that, they kind of came at us a little bit, which you're going to expect. They're 1-0 down. They want something out of the game, even though all game before we scored, Millwall were just wasting time all bloody game. So frustrated. Even the manager, Neil Harris, is it? The ball came to him at one point. It was rolling to him. It could have just stopped it, and he let it run. And it was like, how sad have you got to be? It were only about 5 or 10 minutes into the game. He can't even stop a ball for a player to take a throw, and he's got to let it run. We had 85 minutes left at game. Anyway, so that was Millwall. That was Millwall for this game. They only come at us when we scored. And they brought on the big black lad. I forgot. I think he's called Elliot. Massive, huge, colossal dude. And he just bullied us. He eventually, the ball came across to him, and he headed it over Henderson. It was in. And Egan flung himself at it and kept it out. And at a time, I was jumping up like, what an absolute amazing goal line save from Egan. But I didn't realise that it was an actual goal line save. Yeah, nobody, like, I jumped up, 3 or 4 people around me jumped up to clap him and says, what? We didn't see it. Like, a lot of other people did. But I was just like, why is everyone not applauding that amazing bit of defending? And then Egan, I just saw him walking off like this, all the way down the tunnel. He obviously knew what he'd done, but I suppose it's one of them things, just when it's there and you're like, I need to keep this out, let's just get anything on it. And he handballed it and it was just a bit stupid. Anyway, they got a penalty, stepped up Ben Marshall. I thought, ex-Wednesday player, he's going to pop this in back in net, and then 10 men, it's probably not going to go well. Steps up, Henderson makes himself look big, and he hits the crossbar. Everyone jumped up, absolutely relieved more than anything. Not really celebrating, just relieved. 10 men, down to 10 men, they had a penalty, they missed it, it was still 1-0, still in the game. And then we were just inviting pressure on for the past 20 minutes. The last 20 minutes of the second half, we were just inviting pressure on. We were just going backwards and backwards. Sideways passes, backwards passes, knocking the ball down the line to Medine, who, to be perfectly honest, I'm not a Medine hater by any stretch of the imagination. I want him to do well. I really want him to do well. But he was just ambling up front, ambling around like, I can't be arsed with this. And then we just invited more and more and more pressure on. Henderson probably had to make about 5 saves in the last 5 minutes, it seemed. And then eventually, they had a header. Henderson palmed it out, and they palmed it straight to one of their players who headed it in the corner. And nothing bad about Henderson. Henderson were on fire. Just the defence, we were just nowhere to be seen. Egan were obviously off at this time, so we had a back four of Freeman, Stevens at right and left back, Crane and Jack O'Connell. I'm not saying anything wrong about Jack O'Connell or Crane. Crane is not a central centre back. He's not one of these lads that's going to be kind of dominating in the air. He's great at what he does. He's great at filling in. He's great at kind of attacking in that Basham role. But I wouldn't want 3 or 4 big men attacking a ball against Crane. And that's what it was. Crane, like Jack can hold his own. But I'm a little bit annoyed at Wilder. Like, I love Wilder to bits. I think he's done absolute wonders for this club. But I just don't get why, because Medine was barely moving up top. Stick him at centre-back. He's one of the best in the air in the club. He's massive. He's about 6'4", surely. He's great in the air. Big, strong lad. Why is he trying to run the line? Why is he trying to run the line when he can't barely move and he's not offering anything anyway? He's not holding the ball up. Yeah, so I thought Gary Medine should have been trying to save that game because, fair enough, 11 against 11, I'd fancy us against Millwall to try and hold out. But we had 10 men. We had McGoldrick and Medine. McGoldrick was coming back a bit. But at one point we had 2 men up front. Millwall didn't even have 2 men up front all game. We had 2 men up front when we had 10 men. I don't get that at all. I really don't get that. So I'd have brought Medine back to defend, head it and kick it. You don't need to do much else, mate. You're defending in the last 5 minutes of the game. But they threw all the big defenders up top to try and get an equalising goal, and they did it. They did it. Smash and grab. But I'm not too annoyed because we weren't good enough. We didn't deserve. Well, we probably did deserve to win the game, but that doesn't matter. That goes out of the window when you literally throw away a game. And we did that against Bristol. We defended poorly against Bristol City. Both goals were defenders' fault. And some people on my Bristol City video said, you didn't throw the game away, we beat you. And it were like, yeah, you did beat us, but if we'd have defended better, we'd have won 2-1. And again today, we threw it away. We didn't defend well enough. And yeah, there were little bits and pieces like the referee was horrendous, and like at one point Medine held the ball up, their player had his arms around him, around his whole body, didn't get a free kick, but in the corner, Medine literally tickled his back. I don't even know if he touched him. The defender went down like a sack of spuds. Medine were running off with the ball. The linesman right in front of the incident did not give it. The referee on halfway line gave it. Like, what is that? What even is that? So yeah, when they scored the goal, McGoldrick cleared the ball and got caught afterwards. It should have been a free kick, and that's what Wilder was going mad about. It should have been a free kick. That is true. It should have. But doesn't excuse you not defending well enough. Anyway, let's move on from that. My lasting thoughts on it is Leeds are going to go up second. Even if Leeds drop points now, even if they lost the next game, I don't feel comfortable enough that we're going to beat Forest. Even though Wednesday battered Forest, even though Forest lost at home to Blackburn today, I still don't feel confident enough to say that we're going to beat Forest. Not at all. We might do. It might give them a kick up the arse and say, lads, you got to pull this out of the bag. And we might go and beat them. But even if we beat them and Leeds lost, I don't feel confident enough in us playing well enough for the rest of the season to go up. Because Leeds are 3 points in front of us now. And we've still got a slightly better goal difference. But it's a win and a loss in it. It's us to win and Leeds to lose. Which it's still close. It still could go to the last few games of the season. But I don't feel comfortable enough that we're going to get enough points to trouble Leeds. So there you go. That's how I feel about it all. And I feel like they're really tired. I feel like the players are tired. I feel like a lot of them haven't been in this situation before where they're scrapping for promotion and you've got to do whatever you can do to get promotion. Like in the last 5 or 6 games, like I said, I don't think we've played that well. And I feel that if we did go up, it would be from scrapping, not from playing good football. Like Leeds today, I was watching them and they were playing some really, really nice football. Wednesday had a couple of chances in the first half where they could have nicked it. But Leeds are playing teams off the park. We're just not doing that. We were doing it earlier in the season. We smashed Villa at home. We've beaten a lot of teams. Bolton comfortably. I know it's only Bolton. But we've beaten a lot of teams comfortably. Even the 2-0s that we've won, 3-1s, we've beaten teams comfortably. We're not doing that anymore. Like I said, we beat Leeds just. We beat West Brom just. I just don't... Preston, just. We're just not doing it. We're just not doing it. And yeah, I don't know where we go from here. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that we're now in the playoffs. But I'm really, really not confident. If we're going into them playoffs against your Villas on form, against your Bristol Cities, against your West Broms, maybe even Wednesday, I doubt it now. But there's still some teams around there. They're all scrapping to try and get in playoffs. I can't see anyone other than the current top 4. I can't see anyone other than the current playoff places in there, if I'm honest. I think Villa and Bristol City will quite comfortably stay in there. But I think they're burnt out, if I'm honest. I think they're burnt out. I think we'll finish 3rd. I think we will probably lose in the playoff semi-finals against Villa or Villa or Bristol City. And then we rebuild for next season. I'm being very pessimistic right now, and don't everyone have a go at me in the comments about being pessimistic. I'm still hurting after that performance today, but not just that performance. The last sort of 3 or 4 games, 5 or 6 games, and I was saying before the Leeds Wednesday match, I was walking back to the car after the match, and I was saying, even if Wednesday beat Leeds somehow, and we go back second, I don't feel like we deserve it. I really don't feel like we deserved it. And I was a little bit glad that Leeds won today, to be fair, because I felt like that's what the players deserved. We weren't good enough. I'm going to say we got beaten. It feels like we got beaten. We drew against a poor, let's be frank, a very, very poor, average Millwall team, where they just tried to defend all game and then snuck an equalising goal with a few minutes to go. No, it was 1 minute to go. So yeah, I'm just a bit annoyed. I'm annoyed with lads. I'm a little bit annoyed with Wilder. We're not putting Medina back. And I feel like that's kind of what we've been waiting for a while. We lost to Bristol City at home. We've drawn to Millwall at home. That's 2 games that you would hope a team going for second place should be winning both, and we've won neither. Anyway, I've been talking for 16.5 minutes already. And I'm just going to finish off by talking about the Leeds Wednesday game. I went round to my sister's house with a few of my family, and watching the game, I just felt nothing. When Leeds were attacking, I felt nothing. When Wednesday were attacking, I felt nothing. I was just like, I don't really care what happens in this game. Even if we go back second and Wednesday win, I don't even care anymore. Like, I just don't think... I don't know if they've got it in them. And I know I'm being so pessimistic. And I might look back on this video in a couple of days and be like, probably shouldn't have said that. But that's how I feel right now. I just think that it's a step too far for us. If we got through to... If we stayed... Well, no. If we finish third, which we probably will, and we get through to the playoff final, I think that'll be an achievement. Finishing third in this division is a massive achievement for what's happened. We've been 6 years in League One. We got promoted with 100 points in League One. We then finished 11th, I think it was, in the Championship last season, first season back. We were top of the league. We were in the playoffs for quite a while. We fell away. It feels like that's what's happening again. But at least we've been excellent this season. Got to say, it feels like an obituary to about this season, but that's just how I feel. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they go up against Forest and prove me wrong. Pass them off the pitch. That's the problem. We're not passing teams off the pitch like we were at the beginning of the season. That's when we play well. That's what we do. We pass them off the pitch. We get into the little pockets of space and create chances from the wings, chances through the middle, and we've not been doing that recently. Anyway, I think that's all I've got to say. Leeds fans, in the comments, go for it. Absolutely annihilate me if you want, guys. It's fine. It's fine. I've had enough for it already. So keep going. Keep going. It's fine. I just feel really, really deflated. Really disappointed in the team. And it probably doesn't help that I've had a few beers as well. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, guys, please make sure you do. I would really, really appreciate that. Views have been absolutely mental recently. I think it's mostly Leeds fans that's been tuning into my videos, which is kind of nice. Yeah, all I want to say to Leeds fans is fair play. I watched that game tonight when you beat Wednesday. You were really good. And you create a lot of chances. I think the main problem with Leeds is not finishing them off. I think if you had a Billy Sharp, it'd probably score 30 goals in your team. Quality. Really, really good football. But yeah, if you go instead of us, you deserve it. So yeah, there's still a few games left. Villa's going to be a tough one. Brentford away is going to be a tough one. I thought Wednesday was going to be a tough one, but it wasn't to be. But yeah, yeah, you if you go up with all those difficult teams to play, you deserve it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you haven't liked the video already, please make sure you do so. Please make sure you do. And yeah, stay good.